Alright, we're back with another art video today. Going right on into it. I made sure to remove all of the stuff, the, keys to accidentally pause, mute, as well as end stream. Matter of fact, I'm going to press those keys right now. Didn't pause, didn't end, didn't mute. Alright, good. So if the video ends abruptly, then OBS just screwed up on me. So there's nothing here that can screw us up except for something else. So today we're going to be drawing General Hamza, the General of the Cadmium faction. We don't have too much time to draw this, for today at the very least. So this video is going to be rather short, maybe like around, an hour, 20 minutes. I got at least one of my shows coming on. Dang old holidays kind of just makes it difficult to get anything significant in terms of new shows. Just marathons this, movies that. Although, some of the Batman movies they had on Toonami is actually pretty good. We even have an idea for a specific drawing, at least a couple of drawings in mind, eh? Wink, wink. Especially that, what was her name again? She was big, buff, tall. Actually, I could probably just do a little bit of... I'm gonna have to actually look and make sure that this is in the right position. I.e., looking at this, pulling up picture, focus phone, her. Anybody likes them there good old Amazonian women? Something for the future. Far future, unfortunately. I got a lot planned in mind for other things and other series. But yes, something to look forward to probably. Not next year, year after that. I have it on my phone to do the to draw section, but yes, more characters, maybe more victims for Luna. Wink, wink. But yeah, today we're focusing on the stuff that we have on our plates right now, because I have a busy week ahead of me, and it kind of sucks. Because I have to deal with this stupid job putting Sunday up on the freaking board for no freaking reason other than to be greedy asshats. Because it really just feels like it, It just feels like it. I hate jobs that just think they can take over your lives as much as they want. It's kind of bull. Jobs just need to realize that we all have lives. It's even more so apparent in my case because I have a hell of a lot to do. Let me let you in on what I have planned and how much I have in store. We have a system where I do 2 drawings a week minimum, which is not a lot, but when you consider how much time I have in a day, 5 to 6, maybe 7 hours if I don't feel like going to bed at 4, because my hours are, 2 to 10 p.m., so, of course, I'm a night owl over here. Dang old getting a bunch of stuff done with during the night. You can even tell because that area is dark. There's a window there, and I hate that window. It has a hole in it, and it's cold. This house kind of sucks, but trying to find another house is difficult with 2 pit bulls and a cat. And this cat over here, let me tell you, I don't think she would play nice with the dogs, at least one of the dogs. I remember I had the female pit bull, Tia, her name beeth, down here with me old cat, and she was scared shitless. My old cat was just looking at her and just staring down, and every time she tried to sniff Chloe, which is the old cat, she just bat Tia on her snout. Tia gets scared, move back, and she just stands at the door waiting for me to go back upstairs with her. I wonder how she would react with the new cat, and I wonder how the new cat would react. All right, I get it, cat. You're trying to speak to me, but I don't understand. I know when she was a kitten, there was this beagle at the time that I guess a family friend of ours by the name of Walter, who was holding new kitty Shade. Her name's Shade. Call her Shadalage sometimes. But he has a beagle, and apparently, from what he said, that she didn't like the beagle. I guess makes sense because Scrambles, which is the beagle, is let's just say he's like a Chihuahua on crack. He's very energetic. Whenever we came to the house, he's like running around, running in circles, jumping all over the couch and stuff like that. I think that's how most dogs are like. But at the same time, yeah, I can understand why the cat wouldn't have liked that. And Tia would probably be too scared and chicken, because she, despite being a pit bull, she is a chicken shit. Sometimes you try to get her outside, and she just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Hunches down and just runs over to the steps upstairs to the other's room, and then she just doesn't go outside. Harley, the male pit bull, has no problem. I have this thing where I pee on the tree outside. We have like two different peeing spots. And at night, there's the tree close to the house, and then another tree a little bit further away, but nearly like these sheds, but they're out of view of all the other houses around the place that we go during the day. So what I do is I pee on the tree, and I try to get Harley to come over, and then Harley pees on the tree that I peed on. And he thinks he's taking over territory, but little does he know I'm using his dog brain to do something, as in go use the bathroom, so we can go inside quicker. Less time wasted, and it's only like a few seconds. Really, well, a few seconds. It takes at least a minute at the very least, but yeah, very easy. Nothing too hectic. Tia, on the other hand, good luck trying to get her to freaking pee. You have to like wait until she's like in a specific moment to be like, okay, now is the time. Now, more than ever, is now the time for me to use the bathroom. But that's how dogs are like. I don't know if I want to go for this nose. I'm more of a cat person, obviously. Realm of the Cats is a good example of me being a cat person. But, yes. We don't have too much time, so I can't really talk about a whole lot. Let me think. Oh, yeah. Last video, we talked a whole lot about some Fred and Barney stuff. You know, the weird scenarios and, like, instances with Fred and Barney that I've come up with. We have another one we could talk about. One that probably isn't going to take too long. It's actually, it's pretty grim. Well, most of these stories with them are grim. But I feel like it's interesting at least, despite its grim nature. All right, so we'll start in the Flintstones household, right? Okay. So these group of modern-looking military vehicles show up. And I will warn you, it does get slightly political, despite the fact that it does not a real scenario. I don't know why I thought about this particular character in general, but it kind of, for some reason, funnily enough, fits. So here comes the vehicles. Fred Flintstone walks out, and family alongside with him. And Fred Flintstone was like, "Stay here." As he walks up to these strange-looking vehicles, and it looks like he's familiar with it. It's like he knows, he recognizes these vehicles, despite the fact that they're where they are currently is technically prehistoric times, but they're actually in 2018, 19, somewhere around that ballpark. So, in the vehicle comes out Donald Trump. Why? I don't know. Why do I feel like he'd be the kind of person to hate Fred Flintstone and all the other Flintstone characters? I don't know, but it made the story, and it was pretty hilarious. So they went about talking about stuff, and I don't know what stuff exactly. One thing led to another, and now here we go. Kidnapping all of the Flintstone characters, the background characters included, all the remaining prehistoric caveman Flintstones and all that stuff. And now they're all on a plane in this weird looking, you know that device you use to move and lift the boxes, that kind of thing? It's a futuristic automatic box carrier thing that they're all strapped onto, and they're brought over to this giant island. It's big enough to, at the very least, cycle it within like a few days, at least a few times, and going inwards. But you'll see what I mean when we get to the main bits of the story. Let's see, I'm still recording. Okay, good. And I gotta keep checking every now and again so I, know where to pick up my story in case something stupid happens. So now they're in this volcanic island area, pretty big. The plane drops down, and an entrance opens up, and there's this giant line. This line, just like, here's the entrance, here's the airplane, and here's the volcano. And here's a line all the way around the volcano. There's multiple spirals. I don't know how many spirals there are. And they're just strapped onto this box roller thingy that's automatically moving every 5 minutes. And at the end of that line, the people up front in the line, one person, gets dropped into the volcano as, I don't know, a sacrifice maybe, if you will. There's a reason for it. What's the reason? I have no idea. Why are all these Flintstone characters being dropped into this volcano? Who knows? It's pretty obvious that the timeline is 2018 or around that point. That the Flintstone characters are obviously somewhat immortal, because this was before, like, the BC era, correct? Yet they're still alive in this timeline. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe that's what Trump is doing. Removing these guys from the timeline because technically they're not supposed to be there. But at the same time, they're not doing anything. They're like living immortal lives. Well, immortal. When somebody says immortality, I think of the ability of not dying of old age. If you don't die of old age, then technically speaking, you could live forever unless somebody kills you, that is. That's how I always saw, immortality. Not as unkillable, but just unable to age, and therefore unable to die of old age. But we're getting off track here. So the Flintstones family, there's Fred. In this instance, surprisingly, that Fred and Barney ain't a couple. Wilma's still in the picture. There's Fred, there's Wilma behind him, and there's Pebbles and Dino? I don't know what the order that would be. And then behind them is Barney, Betty, Bam Bam, who for some reason is not able to break out. Well, they're all cavemen, and cavemen are strong as so, despite the fact that they're all cavemen, none of them can break out of these straps. And they're just on this line, right? And every 5 minutes, the line moves. I believe it was 5 minutes. 5 minutes makes the most sense in my memory. And there's a lot of people in line. And what it's supposed to be is like, I think it takes 3 days, or was it a week? I'd say a week because I think they would want them to, like, relish in the fact that they're about to die and they can't do anything about it because they're stuck to these automatic machine-moving rolling bucks, whatever the hell those things are called. And, yes, it takes a week for them to get up to the volcano from where the airplane is. A new airplane gets dropped in, and, then a whole new set comes until all of the Flintstones cast and background characters including, as well as all of the others who are, technically not on screen, Because you got to imagine in the Flintstones era, there had to have been like a whole bunch of characters you've never seen. Because, like I said, like in terms of background characters, we're also including characters that you don't see in the show. Characters like, let's say, in where China would be, but you don't see characters in China because you get the point. There's like 7 billion, or maybe not 7 billion at the time, but there's billions of people living in the Stone Age eras, and there's definitely more characters than the regular Flintstones cast. You get what I mean, right? I don't have to try to explain this concept to you, despite the fact that we only get to see like a couple dozens of important characters and like hundreds of background characters. It doesn't rule out the fact that we still have like billions of characters in a universe that we have never seen before. All right, you get the point. I don't need to dwell on this. So including all those people, they're in this volcano. They're going to get dropped, and that's the deal. So they're being slowly rolled up. And there's a certain point where you get to see people who are like further in the line. And when I say further in the line, like, okay, so here's a good entry point. So here's the line, follow the line. That it probably takes like a couple of days to get to this point. And now here they are reaching back up to this point, but going up a certain area. Like the people in this area going on a beach-like area with some rocky areas. Then they go here and they go inland more and start to rotate around the volcano until they get to the volcano point. And there's Fred and Barney and all the others, the family, like talking about what's happening, trying to like beat around the bush over here, in denial, trying to escape. And then you come across these groups of people who are a little bit calmer. Some of them are still grieving, or crying, complaining. And those people that came across see all the people angry, crying, and none of them has gotten over the fact that they're about to die soon. Because obviously there's like a grace period, right? It's like as soon as you get to a certain point, you know you're going to die in like a week. You go through the stages. It doesn't happen yet here. Let's see, denial, something about anger, bargaining, all that crap. Maybe you're in like the second step on this particular row. And they keep going through until they pass that point, and then they're back on their own again, on the same line, on the same path, going the same path that all they went through. Obviously, there's still the need to eat. So for some reason, the army here still gives them food to consume. Who knows why? Maybe it's just so it's less... I mean, how can you make this less morally apprehensible? You're mass murdering a bunch of Neanderthal cave people who are just... what's the word I'm looking for? They are depressed. They're angry. They're confused. They don't understand what's going on. They're about to die. You are a part of an army that's effectively killing off these people for no real good reason. It makes sense, right? You be morally apprehensible about the whole situation, but what are you going to do? President's orders and all that crap. So, yes, the good way to try to, relieve yourself from somewhat of the blame here is to give them their final meals, quote unquote. And I say that because you're giving them like 3-course meals throughout the 7 days that they're slowly being dragged to their deaths, or rolled to their deaths, I should say. Even though you don't need to do that, but they still do it anyways. I don't exactly know the reason why they are doing it, why they're killing them in the first place, let alone feeding them, but they're doing it. Let me get a drink. Got a flame. Or whatever it's called. Phlegm would make sense, but at the same time, I always thought when my mother said phlegm, she meant tonsil stones, but it might make sense when you think about backup snot. Dooley. Snot dooley. But, where do we want to go in the story in this book here? There's not really much to be said in terms of like dialogue, because I don't know what they're talking about outside of like general idea on what they would be talking about. But I guess we could skip ahead a little bit, right? So now we see Fred and the gang at the point that we were talking about, the loop-de-loop. Now they're about to go inland and are about to see all the sorry people in the back of there who are, still crying about the stuff. Fred's still baffled, but he's no longer as angry. He's more like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do now? And they look at the people still in line, still crying, still upset, still confused. And then they go about their way. Now they're getting more inland. I think they had their like 2-day meals worth. So now they got 5 more days left to live. So now we're about to get close up to the volcano roundabout. I think there's an area called Memory Lane where there's like some weird no, I don't think it's here. I think that's more closer into the volcano. Not at the 2-day point, probably like the 5-day point. Or is it the 6-day point? It would make sense if it was on the 6-day point because it's basically showing you your life flashing before your eyes. Before you go on to your final day. Your 24 hours left to live point. And, at this point, the 3-day point, I do believe they're looking around like the volcano. They can see all the people down below. I think they're now going through the 3rd step of loss, or soon to be a loss. What would that even be considered? Because they're in a grief. That right, of course. Stages of grief, of course. They're grieving about their soon to be demise to this volcano and this strange modern looking man with strange looking hair. Which I got a outlandish hairstyle, but I mean, at the very least, I'm trying to go for a style. What style is Trump going for? Is that like a comb-over style? What was that again? I have no clue. It seems more like something you would see a teenager wear. And yes, I would agree that you technically don't really age in maturity sense, unless you choose to be. I'd rather not choose to age maturely. I'd rather stay my same old self. It's the only way I can have these creative juices flowing. But yes, they're dying to this man and his army. They don't know why it's happening. They can't really put together why all of this is happening to them. And don't worry, I will put this guy's back hair here soon enough. And when I mean back hair, I mean like the back hair layer. But, we're now at the point where the volcano is looping. We're going around the edge of the volcano. And now we're 4 days in, I think. And something I failed to mention was there is a loop-de-loop part later on here. So I'd say around here seemed like a good place to put a loop-de-loop. And by loop-de-loop, I mean, like, you meet up the people who are, like, a couple more days in and closer to death. And those people look calmer, contempt. It's like they realize that they can't change what's happening. They realize that their entire species is now being killed off. And there's not much they can really do about it. So what they're doing is just living is in the moment as best as they could. It's like they're on some sort of high or something like that, right? These are the people who have only a day left to live. And the path that they're leading up to leads all the way up to the volcano. Now, the loop isn't like here. It's like here's a little bit of a cliff, a little incline, and you can see them up here. Kind of like, here's this guy's head, and, here's this guy's body, and here's this guy's body. somewhere around here, they can look down at each other, or look up at each other, look down and up at each other, and they can see that these people are not in the same boat as all the other people who are still grieving, who are still stuck in the stages of grief, and are still very upset. So now we're about to come across the 5-day point where we actually go inside the edges of the volcano. And I think at this point you see the people being dropped in, as morbid as that may sound. Now they're being dropped in. And it's pretty terrible. You just hear them screaming as they fall. They are unable to really move because of, 7 days being strapped to this thing. I have to imagine you're experiencing some severe muscle fatigue. And then, in the lava, silence for 5 minutes until the next person gets dropped into the lava. And this goes on for, 12 hours maybe total. I think there's at least 2 entry points into the volcano, and another entry point into the volcano, but not in the area where you see the lava drop, but in an area that's more enclosed. I would probably call that Memory Lane. Well, that's really the only name that I can really think of on the fly right now. So yes, Memory Lane. So we go out the volcano, we look down at all of the people down there. We do one loop around the volcano and around the island. Then you go back into the volcano and go through the remaining probably 6 hours, depending on where or how big it is, how long it takes. And then after that, the final day is about to arrive. No, day 6. Never mind, we're still on day 6. Well, yeah, the Memory Lane is about to be. Memory Lane is day 6, and then after Memory Lane is finished, then you have fully 1 day left to live. So now they're just being brought around the volcano a few more times. Kind of just like loop-de-loop, at least enough times to reach the 23-hour mark. Then on the final hour is Memory Lane. You go into this point, you get sprayed with something, and now you see your life flash before your eyes for an hour. It feels like you're living your life again. And the memory dust thing only lasts until you get to the point where you are taken to the island. Not exactly on the island, but at the very least, before you get taken by the armed vehicle people, the modern people to the island. So yeah, before they show up, that's where Memory Lane ends, and then you wake up back on the island again, with a day left to live. So you take your final rest. I think there's even a resting point at this point. Yeah, actually, that would make the most sense. You're brought through Memory Lane. You exit the volcano, go back into it again for 8 hours, and you sleep. Your final full night of rest, if you can even get any rest. It's quiet. Everybody here understands the protocols, despite going through it the first time around. And then they sleep one more time before it's all over. Then after they wake up, depending on, how long they decide to wake up, because they might wake up at the nighttime. It really depends. Actually, yeah, that is the interesting thing to think about, because they're going through all the motions in the days, but everyone's time is different. A guy who was abducted 12 hours in is going to have a different time than you going into certain areas. So yeah, that time would be different. So it would make sense to have them go through the cave system yet again. But okay, you get what I mean. They sleep in the cave area for 8 hours, pitch total darkness. Then they wake up and they have their last set of meals. They, okay, I feel like I might have went too far with this, but let me just try to keep this going and see if we can fix it. Here's his ass. Okay, that should work. He's supposed to be wearing like this long robe kind of thing. I'm not too sure what it'd be called, but anyways, back to the story. So now here we are, the last and final day. They go on ahead, have their last 3 meals, their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And dinner is when the sad part comes. They go through, after they go through the dinner time, they go through let me think here. So, okay, here's a volcano path. Here's it going down here. And then here's a little giant ledge here in the volcano area that's kind of separated by a bunch of, rope things that the things, like, go around. I think at this point it's the 12-hour mark? No, because dinner time just came. Well, assuming if you want to have dinner at, like, 6, then, yeah, 6 hours left at this point. After the dinner point, which is around here, and after this point, okay, maybe not 6 hours. Well, 6 hours after the dinner point. Then you get to this point, probably like a few hours left to contemplate. Then you make it up to the volcano area. And the final line. Your final hour. I mean, let me think for a second. 60 divided by 5 is how much again? Was it 12? Yeah, 12. You have 12 people left in the final hour. So you are pretty much face close to the volcano in the final hour. And yes, this is now your time. You've all said your goodbyes. You've said the things that needed to be said. Doesn't seem like anybody's going to be able to get you out. This is a complete and utter caveman Flintstones genocide. They committed a genocide, Barney, and now they're getting what's due to them. Maybe this is a continuation off of that comic. Who knows? But, yes, this is the last hour. And as they just slowly see the people that they've been with for like hours or weeks in front of them, conversing with them, as they see them just slowly drop to their deaths off into the lava, Fred over here is not happy. He went through the stages of grief, but he's not happy about what's happening. And then we're at the last few people. This is the end for Fred Flintstone, it would seem. Again, Fred's about to die in this story, just like he did in that one ending. And just like I think I said he did in the other ending as well. Still recording? Good. So, this is it. The finale. Fred's demise, alongside his family. Even the baby. Sorry, but apparently we're going to kill the baby as well. We already kind of beat the crap out of Tina Belcher baby in the last story, but might as well just go on ahead and kill the baby. God, how morbid is that? Well, this is it, Fred Flintstone, the end of the road. And Trump came to just see you off, because for some reason those two have history. Why do they have history? I don't know. That's just how the story went. Don't ask me why those two have history. You would think in the end it was Mr. Slate, but also Mr. Slate's brought into this and getting destroyed as well. This is the only time, literally, this is the only time that he was used. The president, the ex-president, as I say. No longer be. Every other scenario involves Mr. Slate. I don't know where Mr. Slate was in this story. Actually, who knows? Maybe Mr. Slate convinced Trump to kill all of the Flintstone characters. You know, sort of a Highlander thing. There could only be one Flintstoners or something. One Flintstoners, yes. Fred was taking... Okay, this might be too thick or too big. I'm gonna reduce the size. Fred was the main character of the story, and Mr. Slate didn't like it. Actually, this might be too thick. Crap. I mean, it makes sense. Just because he was Fred Flintstone's boss didn't mean he was the main character. And, he took that personally. Yes, he did. So much so that he decided to kill off half the Flintstones cast to ensure that he was the one to become the main character. And even if that was the case, if all of the Flintstones characters were to die, do you all really think that Mr. Slate would be able to have enough staying power to have his own series? I mean, maybe the rich people would like it because they see a very successful man bossing around people who aren't Flintstones characters. But, yeah. Yeah, I think that's how that story's gonna go. I didn't put Mr. Slate in his story, period, so maybe he will be. Or is his name Mr. Slade? Slate or Slade? Slate makes more sense. I'm thinking about Slade from Teen Titans for some reason. Which would be kind of a funny drawing idea. You got freaking Mr. Slate's face. Okay, Slade removes his mask. Here's Fred Flintstone. Imagine this scenario. Imagine a drawing where Fred. Okay, so here's a drawing. Here's Fred Flintstone, and here's Mr. Slade, and here's him taking off his mask to reveal Mr. Slade. If I don't draw that soon, somebody else can be free to draw it. I'll still draw it even after you've drawn it, but just imagine. It'll be like Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph's head on Ralph's body. You should not mock the son of a shepherd. Ralph's already an OP character. You put him in Ralph's body, Wreck-It Ralph's. Who knows the disasters that could happen? But yes, there's our new narrative. Mr. Slate is convinced Donald Trump to abduct all the Flintstones characters, and now the Flintstones characters are being dropped in a volcano to where Mr. Slate is the only Flintstones character. Now he is the one who have all the glory, while Fred Flintstone, the main character, is gone. You know what? Screw it! We're gonna have Mr. Slate and Donald Trump there at the end of Fred's demise. And Slate's over here telling Fred his plan, saying, "It was all according to plan, Fred." I almost sound like Barney for some reason. "It was all according to plan, Fred. You took the limelight. And now I'm taking it back. I am the star of the show, Fred. Me, not you, me." And the best way I can see it to get rid of you and to ensure that I become the main character of the Flintstones is to kill all of you. That's right. Now this is like the 5-10 minute mark. Everybody else is just a freaking pawn in Mr. Slade's, entire plan. It was Fred that was his real target, but who knows what would happen. You kill off Fred, Barney would have probably taken the lead. Hell, Barney has enough freaking staying power in my freaking mind with all the stories and crap that I've made of him for some reason. So I can only imagine that if Fred Flintstone died for some reason, Barney would have no issues taking over. Well, I'm talking about this in the fact that I have all those stories with Barney, when in all actuality, Barney in the series is nowhere the same as Barney in these strange crap stories. But, yes, the whole point of this entire plan was to ensure that Mr. Slate would be the main character no matter what. So, now here we are, 5 minutes left. Fred Flintstone is next to fall into the volcano, and he is fuming. He is livid. He's gonna die because of Mr. Slade's inane plan to become what is essentially the main character of a series his name isn't even on the freaking box art or whatever the word is I'm looking for. He's gonna die because Mr. Slate thinks that killing off Fred Flintstone will make him the main character of the Flintstones. Mr. Slate, whose name probably doesn't even have flint nor stone in it. Sure, he has a type of stone, but he does not have Flintstone in his name. this is a weird plan that he's cocked up. And who's to say Donald Trump isn't going to go back on his words and just straight up kill Mr. Slate? I don't know why he would. I mean, there's a business opportunity to be made here. But, freaking... I don't know. It's his inane scheme. I'm just the story mediator. I'm here to tell the story and give you a general idea on how this universe went. Because y'all know that we all didn't create these universes. We're just making a window to it. We think we created it. That's another theory that I would like to talk about at some point. But for now, let's just forget about that. All right? So, Fred's about to be dropped into the volcano. And he yells something like, "Damn you! Damn you, Mr. Slate," or something. Early, I was thinking about him saying, "Damn you, Trump." But if now that Slate's in the story, it makes more sense. And Fred was able to get enough strength to be able to break himself out of the roller. Well, not out of the roller. Because, no, the roller, that would be a waste of metal. You hear me? The rollers dump them off, opens the strap, pushes them off, and then the rollers back out and into a truck so that they can be reused. And Fred Flintstone was able to get enough strength in his body to move his limbs and be able to propel himself off out of the volcano's projectile path and onto solid ground. Of course, this is a pretty far drop, so he falls onto the ground, breaks multiple bones, although he's a caveman, so probably not going to be breaking too many bones, but at the very least, maybe he didn't break a bone, but he's still probably suffering from the muscle fatigue of not being able to move any body part for like a week. So that would probably be his demise. But he's now deep enough into the volcano where the rocks he's laying on, his back is laying on, feels like he's on a grill. So now, instead of quick, I don't know how quickly it is you die in lava, but now he's on a very even slower, painful death than he was now, because now he's slowly being cooked alive in the volcano. He's not dying immediately, no. It's taking about, 30 minutes, probably. If I were to say, you're at, the close to bottom floor of the volcano. How long do you think it's going to take for a caveman to be cooked alive, right? So, yes, now he's on this very hot piece of rock, slowly being cooked, and every 5 minutes, because his family was behind him, every 5 minutes he has to watch his friends and family drop into lava. And it's very morbid. It's sad. It's terrible. I don't know why my brain came up with this scenario. I always come up with these dark stories. There's a bad ending in most of these stories. But now you all get to see it. You all get to experience the terrible ending that I had thought about for this scenario. I don't even know how you can get out of this situation. You're strapped in tight to where not even Bam Bam could escape. So there goes Wilma screaming, and 5 minutes later, here comes Dino. I'm not going to include the cat. The saber-tooth is safe and out of harm's way because I like cats and I don't want to see cats come to harm. Isn't that right, cat? That's right, Cadillac. I scratched your head. What are you going to do about it? You're going to stretch and roll on your back and put your arms up. That's what you're going to do. So there goes Dino. Another 5 minutes passed. Guess what? We're killing the baby. There goes Pebbles. Oh boy. Now a lot of people are going to like that scene. It's like what? Just like most animes, you're very pissed because your favorite character died off for no reason. And now here goes Barney. Barney was not able to get out of this one and join Fred in his entire body being cooked in the heat. So, Barney goes, another 5 minutes. Betty goes, another 5 minutes. bam, bam, and then there it goes. The whole cast is dead. Or at least the main cast. After that, it's just a bunch of background random characters that Barney and Fred conversed with. And it's at this point where Fred is slowly blacking out. And game over. Fred is dead. Sucks that there wasn't really much you could do to prevent that ending. It's not a game in this instance. This is more of is it a horror? No, it's not a horror. Although, would you consider it a horror movie if you're in line to be dropped into a volcano and you have no way to escape? A short horror film. Kind of like Curve, except there's people. And there's no way to, potentially get out. I like to imagine if, you can run down. I've always had this strange, thought process where if you run down a building, say if you're on a skyscraper that's about to collapse, if you run down the building and you get a certain kind of if you are able to keep your feet onto the building, would you be able to jump off the building right before you get to the part where you land? Jump off of it. If there is something to hang on to, like a traffic light, grab the traffic light to stop your fall, or jump up so, where you're jumping up. Would you be able to survive jumping down a skyscraper with that? And another thing, would you be able to survive jumping down a skyscraper if there's a giant ramp? Could you Sonic the Hedgehog this shit? Has somebody tried? Has somebody tried but just haven't figured out the technique to do it yet? Maybe it is possible. Who knows? I mean, obviously, it'd be pretty difficult to try to do because if you do it once and fail, you're dead. And nobody's going to have the balls to try it. I don't like heights. So I would do it if, say, I was a gravity shifter. Everybody know Gravity Rush? The cute little cat, the star cat, right? Cat. Also, other cute cat, Gravity Girl. If I had that power, I would try it. Because obviously, because of certain scenes in that game, you can fall from a ginormous height. You can be literally up in the sky, far from the city. No, don't use your gravity power, and you fall flat on the ground and you're all right. So is the way of the gravity shifter's power. If I had that power, then I would have no problem trying it out. And you would know if I'm using my power because of the, red glowing eyes? I don't remember. It's been a while since I played that game. I kind of missed it. I kind of missed the whole cat and raven dynamic. I feel like those two would make a perfect couple. Although I don't know how old Cat is. I know Raven's at least 19, but last time I checked Cat, I didn't really find an age. And in one of the comics, the show Cat was drinking beer, so I don't know, maybe she's 21. Maybe. Potentially. Is she 21 in the game itself? Well, maybe not. The first one? Was that the first one or the second one where she made that quote? It's been a while. It's weird because the way they did that in that game, the second game you had this whole new area, but then you can go back to the first area of the game later on in the story. I like that. It was weird, kind of. And it seems like the second Breath of the Wild game is doing the same thing too, except everything's now in the sky. I wonder how that's going to play out as well. But it was nice. I missed that game. I hope they make a third one soon. Because we definitely know that, spoilers, Cat is still alive and kicking. Well, I mean, technically it's not a spoiler. I didn't say the actual context of it, did I? Of course she's going to be alive and kicking. No way they would kill such an adorable girl off. And then, what would the cat do? No way they would get rid of the cat either, right, Cat? Right? Are you going to speak? I'm speaking to you. Are you going to say something? No, you're just going to purr. She's going to twitch her whiskers and do nothing. Yes, I kind of ended that story off pretty abruptly, didn't I? The one where Fred Flintstone dies. Huh? But where can you take it after that? The main character's dead. The short story has been completed. That's it. That is the end of it. Mr. Slate won. It's just another ending where Mr. Slate wins. And we only really got like 30 minutes left anyways. We're close to finishing up some of the outline at least. Hands are such a pain to draw sometimes, especially when you're trying to get like a certain perspective. So far so good though. It's just I feel like I could be doing a better job with this hand. I just don't know how. Alright, so his hand's in this direction. Okay, so it would be in there. The pinky would be inside. Right? Would it be? Yeah, the thumb would be here. Matter of fact, let me draw the thumb first, of all things. This is gonna have Hamza holding like a pile of sand or something. He's in his element. I don't remember what nationality I made Hamza. I know the entirety of cadmium is like nomadic people or more like foreign people. What's the word I'm looking for? Not foreign, because everything is a foreigner outside of a country. I think Hamza's either Arab or Muslim. I don't remember. I'd have to double check the small amount of description that I've given of him. I know 100% for a fact that Liam is a Swedish man, which, by the way, I'm looking back at this drawing, and what is this torso, brain? What is this torso I'm looking at? It looks like I made him too small for his own good. And Liam looks 100% different in my brain than what I remember here. But I want to try to give him like the switch guard kind of look. So when I draw Liam, he's gonna look a million times better than that. I'm looking at that, I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? That doesn't look like the Liam that my brain knows and loves. The tall, buff, muscular Swedish man. Half these characters look so off. I'm glad that I'm going back and redrawing them again, because my God, what was my brain thinking back then? What was the 20-year-old me thinking? Was this at the second year of me doing this? I don't recall. It's been a while. But yes, the story's completed. I don't know where else to go from here now. There was another story in mind I had with Barney's, which I think... Look, there's a whole bunch of stories I have in mind with a certain, creation of mine, which I'm going to call duplicates. That's what I'm going to call them. I'm not going to say anything more than that, but I will say stories that involve some of those duplicates, all right? I can at least say this. You know what duplicate means. You know what duplicates are, right? No, they're not alternates. They're far from that. But there's a whole story in mind when it comes to duplicates that I don't want to say just yet. All that's in my head right now. The stuff that I know about duplicates, all for me to know and for you to guess. And I won't tell you what it is. But you know what the stories are going to generally entail with duplicates in general. I guess what I can say is what are duplicates? What are they? Duplicates are essentially a creation made by something. I don't know what that something is, which is a lie, because I do know what that something is, but I don't want you to know yet. And these duplicates are they're derivative of a certain character's DNA. I can give you this lay down. The two main duplicates that I have thought about in multiple stories involve Barney Rubble. Well, okay, not him first. Duke Nukem. Dukes. Which I think Duke was the main origin point for duplicates to be a thing. I think Duke Nukem is the reason why duplicates exist. And I'll explain why at some point in the future. But Duke Nukem first, then I think Barney Rubble came soon after that. There's also two more duplicate theories, but one I have already shown that I don't want to say yet, and another one I don't want to... I'm questioning if I should even show them the public eye. let's just say they're the most hated species in all of the universes. And I'm questioning whether I want to draw them or not and give them life. They already do exist. I've already thought of them. But let's just be thankful that they can't get to our universe yet. We don't know if stuff can actually get to our universe or not. And it's always so worrisome to think. You know the whole Marvel stuff, right? Thanos and all that. Thanos has the ability to travel between universes and stuff. Imagine if the first sign of multiple universes actually anything like Thanos would be a good example of whatever we create becomes real in another universe. So if he were to show up in our universe, that would suck if he was the first thing. I think Thanos would be the least of our problems with the stuff that I've created. The mysterious entity is one of them, as well as the mysterious woman, who I don't want to give any spoilers away because I know she's watching, making sure I don't say anything more to, I don't know. I just don't know if I want to disclose that information. I don't know if my body is ready. Just making sure that I'm, if you see something in the doorway, just fade there. That's probably her right now. But it's fine, people. It's fine. We're not talking about that. We're talking about duplicates. Go back to Fred and Barney. Yes. But yes, the main premise of the duplicates is the fact that they are duplications of a certain character. Some characters are eligible for duplication, others are not. I don't know why Barney Rubbles is a duplicate and not Fred Flintstone. I have no clue why that's the case and why Fred isn't, a part of the duplicates roster. I do know there's a skedaddle of Freds, which part of me kind of wants this. You know that learning with Pibby thing that came up, whoever her name is, Plibby, and Fred Flintstone got murked by that weird thing. I like to imagine that off in the distance, similar to the skedaddle of Ricks, there's just a whole bunch of Fred Flintstones in this skedaddle-looking thing, just looking this other universe's Fred Flintstone getting murked by this thing. Now, he's probably not dead, at least I don't think. I have to imagine he would have to save all the characters. But, yes, all the Fred Flintstones are there talking about it. And while they're talking about it, the corruption comes and takes over the area. And, that's a whole story that I'm not going to get into right now because we only have, about 20 minutes left. And it's probably going to take an hour to explain that story anyways. The premise is simple. You play as a Fred Flintstone, who is one of the main founders of the skedaddle of Flintstones. Yeah, skedaddle of Flintstones sounds better than skedaddle of Fred. No. What? Did I say skedaddle of Freds first when I first made this? This is not for you guys to answer. I'm not asking you a question. I'm asking myself a question. I think it was skedaddle of Freds. Right, never mind. It was indeed the skedaddle of Freds. Barney was included. Barney is like the Morty in this universe. Well, Fred is like the Rick, minus the tragic backstory that Rick has. I'm not going to really say spoilers about that because I'm not going to talk about it. And we all know that he has a tragic backstory somewhere. But, yeah. Yes, the cat yawned. Oh no, now I'm yawning. Oh God, what have you done? Oh no, now all of you guys are yawning. Oh God, the infection is spreading. What have you done, cat? You've ruined us all. The cat, they're taking over the world. Not by whatever their main method is, scratching and hissing, but by yawning. They're going to yawn us to death. They're going to yawn, then we're going to yawn, and then we're all going to yawn. and then somehow die because of it? Oh no, I revealed her plan. Now she's rolling on over to me. I don't even know if you could hear her meow. I hope you could hear her meow. That was too perfectly timed. Oh, now she's scratching me. She's already initiating her assassination plans. Well, good luck, cat. You can't stop this video. An hour in. Stop it. Stop scratching me. The old cat scratched me trying to get my attention. Yeah, now I don't have to worry about you pressing something and ruining everything. Only in Minecraft. Oh, and I'm apparently getting a second monitor for Christmas, so it will be a hell of a lot easier to monitor OBS while I'm playing Minecraft. So now I hopefully don't have to worry about crashing too much, unless, moving my mouse over to the second monitor causes the system to crash somehow, if I have to, end or pop. Well, I guess that would make the most sense. If I could move my mouse over, then that would mean I'd have to do some quick time reaction event to try to move my mouse before the sleep is finished. Assuming we still end while sleeping. Alright, this seems off. That's because it is off. How does that guy do that laugh? That ox from Kung Fu Panda? I'm trying to mimic his laugh for some reason. There's a certain creation that I said I'm not going to make public yet, that I said is the most hated creation in the universe, a creature or species in the universe. One of them has that particular character's voice and makes that laugh, and then they eat a sandwich while they're on duty when they're not supposed to have a sandwich. There's a whole story to that, and I don't want to get into it because, again, this creation sucks. And not because it sucks like it's terrible. Sometimes it's... Whenever I think about them, I feel my brain cells committing suicide, one by one. That's how bad they are. They're used for most stupid things. Thankfully, most of the duplicates, and Barney specifically, took that role. The Flintstones took their role, which would make sense why... Well, okay, you guys don't know this, but they hate the Barneys and the Freds and all that stuff. Look, there's a whole unspoken, a whole bunch of unspoken stories. Oh God, I moved the thing. I accidentally moved the thing when I didn't mean to move the thing. I think we're still fine. There's a whole bunch of unspoken stories that I've yet to make anything about yet. Alright, it looks like I've gotten the main stuff done with. He definitely looks better than what he looked like before. Probably will make this more broader. Hey, around that point. Probably going to actually bring this out a bit more, so this is less... What's the word I'm looking for? Skinny. It's supposed to look like he's hunched over. I don't know if I'm conveying that properly. Seems like it's fine, but it's hard to tell sometimes, Alright, okay. Now we're going to... 20 minutes of coloring now. I know for a fact that we don't have his color shade, so this is going to be a little bit difficult for me to get it done with, as well as finish that. I don't exactly know what I plan on doing tonight. I got my I might just end it and the video here and just do the rest off stream when the reruns and stuff are on. Seems like a good, or not the rest, the rest of the coloring, then I'll probably pick up on the background stuff in the next part. I don't know how long this is going to be. But there's not really much we can say story-wise right now. We only have 15 minutes remaining, actually. Probably even less than that. At the very least, all I have to do is hit record, close this, get myself ready, and then boom, new show. Unless I think it's a new episode tonight. Kinda sucks, though, what's happening with Toonami right now. we have very little shows to look forward to. The whole reason for the entirety of that block is for me to have something to look forward to at the end of every week. It's always good to have something to look forward to at the end of every week. And now we only have like 2 shows to look forward to, with one whose finale is going to be shown next year. Early next year, at least, thankfully, but at the same time, I really wish people weren't so incompetent. But at the very least, we have that to look forward to when the time comes. Oh god, I forgot I'm still on the same pixel radius thing. Let me fix that. Oh yeah, before I do this, let me make sure his eye's in the right position. He needs to be looking down at the sand. The sand's going to be pouring out of his hands. I'm not entirely too sure what I plan on doing here. Maybe like a bunch of grains of sand. Oops, that's white. It needs to be black. I have an idea, but for now, let's just focus on the main coloring portion, and then we'll go on ahead and shade all this stuff in later. So there's his eyes. So yeah, right. With the amount of time that I have left, I can explain to you guys what the cadmium faction is, in case you guys don't read the descriptions on my drawings, which you should. Ah, crap. How do I manage this? It's fine, I can fix this. It's an easy fix indeed. I just need to not be stupid. And make the actual... No, you fool, you did the thing that I told you not to be, which was not to be stupid. It's fine, folks. We fixed it. Unnecessary accidents, or unnecessary mistakes, however the hell the saying went. Alright, now for the lines, which is, pretty easy. Am I still on brush? Yes. Now for the beard, which, hold on, I need to bring this down a bit more. I really wish there was a way I can lock these windows into place so I don't have to keep moving things around every time. Then there's the back of his hair right here. Oops. Right here. The quote-unquote back hair. And there's that. Now we make the neck. And then there's the shirt. Oh god. Alright, what color is this? Somewhat of an orangish color. This one looks completely different. I changed it to an actual collar, because I'm pretty sure that's what it was supposed to be, an actual collar. What are you doing, cat? Hey. Stop it. Stop. Stop. And cat's scratching the back of the desk. I cannot get this color. Okay, you know what? That will have to do. We don't need to be spending a whole bunch of time on the colors here. Besides, it's best that we try to, like, you know, make this a little less vivid and a little more good, I guess. I don't know. Is this the color? No. This one has actually more brown. It's orange. No, more orange. Let me just make sure that this is... Okay, yeah, that is 100. So this is the actual color that we're getting here. Maybe a bit darker. I'm gonna make it like 60. How's that? Nope. More orange then? More orange? You know what? That'll work. Why not? I don't know why I'm calling this shirt when I'm pretty sure this is a full-on outfit. This isn't even a shirt. This is more like a robe. Alright, let's see. It looks like the strap here is, my voice robotized there for a second. It looks like the shirt is like this. Or robe, I should say, not shirt, damn it. And it looks like the edges here are more orange. Aren't you glad it looks like an orange? No, I'm not. Okay, more orange, less red. Okay, less orange, more red. Okay, there we go. Calling it outfit, not the robe. Although, the shoes are different. I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so now we need slightly gold trimming over here with what's on the bottom. Okay, it looks like the bottom is just simply another... Wait, no. Actually, this might have to be separate. Unless, actually, I do this instead. Wait, that means I have to get the trimming done with first. Okay, let's get the trimming done with first. Alright, that works. I don't want it to be full-on gold. I need it to be somewhat more washed out. Then we do this. I'm just going to move you inwards. Squidwards. And maybe a little bit of... I think I might have moved this, but didn't realize it. Just didn't move alongside it, so yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's an easy fix. And there we go. It's all connected as one, which makes sense, clothing-wise. And now for the other part of the robe. The one that actually should probably not be that difficult to fill all in, because there's only 2 things to fill in. Okay, good, great, fantastic. Part of me feels like that should be... Oh, no, because the way that's set up, it would make more... Actually, yeah, wait, hold on. I feel like this would make more sense to be closer to here, and then just have it be, like, around. Maybe here, and maybe here? If the legs are here, the torso is here, and the legs go out here and down there, then yeah, that would make sense. Man, perspective is difficult. And I'm not looking at a reference for perspective. When I'm looking back at the image right now, I'm only looking back at like where the designs of the outfits are. And for this one, I'm mostly looking at where all the colors need to be. That's why you need references. People out here saying you're not real artists unless you look at references are idiots. They don't realize that you need to be able to know what color you're going. Because if you don't have a reference pick, you're going to end up with a blue Shrek and a green Sonic, a red SpongeBob. This is the extreme, by the way. This is not, unless you are somehow managing to, turn Shrek into a blue ogre instead of a green ogre somehow. I don't know how you're screwing up that badly to not know their actual color. No, like, you need a reference in your image if you need to, like, get, like, the design for the outfit. You try to make your own outfit, it's just not going to look like an outfit. It'll look like your OC, Don't Steal kind of deal over here. This beeth my Shrek OC, Don't Steal. Strange, isn't it? But, yes, references are important. I use references all the time when I'm drawing my characters. As a new character, I don't use a reference. If it's a character I'm trying to make look like a certain character at first, like, for example, wait. No, you fool, don't make another one. Fill in this. So, like, for example, Anne from the whole, oh, wait, are you? No, wait, no, that is fine. Anne from the stories with Holly and May, at first, she was designed, or her design was inspired by Annie from Attack on Titan. But I've drawn Anne multiple times, so much to the extent where I can barely even see the similarities. Because at first it was just like bun in the hair and close to like, the face look and all that stuff. Yes, the face look. And I've been drawing her so much so now that she barely even looks like Anne. The same almost applies to Abigail. the girl who was like referenced off of Abby from NCIS. But there's some major differences. Abby's hair goes like this, while Abigail's hair goes like this. And also outfit-wise, extremely different. But Abigail's a different story. Because at least with her, she's a goth. And her hair is, in pigtails like Abby is. So her design stays closer to, Abby. And I do have a drawing idea in mind, actually, to draw Abigail and Abby together in the same drawing. We can make it so that Abigail is meeting with the actress of NCIS who's wearing her getup for some reason. Abby is not Abigail. And those two, shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand, camera up here maybe. I don't know, I haven't figured it out yet entirely. But that's the general idea that I have in mind. But yeah, that's a good drawing idea. And it's perfect because it's something that could actually happen in that universe. I mean, we speak. Oh, what? It's 1:55? Impossible. My computer says 1:52. All right, well, we're going to have to hurry it. Oh, wait, no, I don't have to worry about you doing anything, cat. And that is on. I don't even know if you can still hear that. Don't worry. I can finish up this process and we'll end the first part here. Okay, cat's scoffing again. You okay, Cadillac? Cadillac SUV, you okay? You need to be burped or something? Alright, nail-wise, it's gotta be like, how most nails are. I don't know if this is the color that I'm looking for, but we'll see. Okay, a little bit less. That'll work. I don't know why. It's hard to get a natural nail color look without making it look like it's painted. It's even more so difficult because of, look at this. It looks kind of painted on, does it not? Kind of polished. It's always so weird why we have nails. Most species don't have nails, they have claws, but why do we have nails? Okay, that'll work. I will quickly speed up this last process, and then I shall end this part. But I think we did Hamza justice here. He looks a million times better. Better than he did first time. He doesn't look like he's missing his shins. Nor does it look like his torso is the size of a freaking where your boobs would be. At least this, it looks like the wrap is around his chest here and then goes down. I think that was the original idea that I had. I forgot the shoes. Do I have time to do the shoes? I don't know if I have time to do the shoes. Well, we're going to speed run the shoes then. I'm going to keep them on the same layer. Alright, so I want these to be a little bit darker. Like, maybe that dark. Alright, shoes. Alright, come on, hurry it up. What's next? What's next? I believe this is a new episode, so I want to be there on time and with a container of ice cream. Alright, there's the second shoes. And now we're going to do the bottoms. And boom. Enter. Alright, that'll work. His shoes is covered by dust in the drawing. Alright, perfect. We didn't draw the sand yet, but we'll worry about the sand at a later date. But there you have it. So thank you all for coming to this part. If you like this drawing video, leave a like, comment about what you liked about this particular drawing. and subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to end this here and pick this back up later. I mean, to you, the parts are already going to be out, but to me, I have to record the rest. So, anyways, have a good day or night whenever this gets posted. Later.